going to run through a few things real quick, and afterwards I'm going to get to the point of it. Well, everything I'm going to talk about is the point. Everything is the point. So I guess I'll put, afterwards I'll be getting to the main point after I run through the things real quick. And all the videos I'm going to be sampling from, they'll be in the description box in the order that I used them in this commentary. Right? Now, you see this here?
You will need some water. I've just put some in a mug. Black food coloring and red food coloring. And also corn flour, but it looks quite realistic. So you see, I'm not even going to use all of that. I'm just going to put a tiny little bit in. So there you can see the water's now gone cloudy. Ready for corn flour anymore? And pour it in. I'm not going to put the cap on, I'm just going to leave that there. And I'm just going to check this finger. I'm going to mix this up. Take my gloves off. Mix it. I'll run to 2 drops of black. So 1, probably 2 realistically, but I start off with 1 because black is a very, very strong food colouring colour. You can see there, it's nice and dark. And that is the effect you're going for.
She is showing mentally disturbed men and boys how to mimic women and girls, right? And she wasn't finished. No, she wasn't finished. She was just getting started. She went on to even come with her own.
So that it's really nice and dark. And I do actually have, if you were kind of grossed out about blood, I'm not really sure why you're watching this, but anyway, I have saved some of my blood from my cycle this month. I only remember to do this on the 5th day of my cycle, so I was very, very light, but this is what I kind of held on to. So you can see it is really dark. It's surprisingly dark.
Okay. And no, I'm not going to say a word about that last part right there. I'm going to leave that right there. Ain't got a word to say about it. Now, her contraption was a bit elaborate and fancy, but some of these people who impersonate women just use ketchup packets, condiments that you could get from McDonald's or Jack in the Box or somewhere.
Sometimes I'm happy that I live out in the Midwest, I don't see this kind of stuff. She tweets, mentally ill men claiming to be women are inserting frozen tomato paste into themselves to mimic, well, a woman's cycle. And then she writes, I'm so sick of pretending these people are normal. This appears to be, I thought this is how like out of touch I am. I thought these were hot links, like little like venison sausage things that they cut up when I first saw the picture, and I was like, well, what is going on here? And this says, taking my fem cycle to the next level. Frozen V8 popsicles you make with molds from bottled water from Walmart. Hope this helps. What?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that what I've shown you so far is what's being labeled misogyny.
What?
Yes. Misogyny. Misogyny is suggesting to me that I go out and buy a package of panties, then deliberately soil these panties, then put these panties on my body, get dressed, and leave the house to go on about my daily activities. That's misogyny.
Bro, what are you talking about, man? Bro, I'm out, man. That nigga's tripping.
Since when? Since when is that misogyny? I'm asking because you know what the misogyny I know, you know what the misogyny I know would say to me? The misogyny would say to me that I am not to give a single damn about your period. I am not to care about your cramps and none of that other stuff you go through. Just get my sandwich made. That's what misogyny would tell me. Misogyny told me in Leviticus chapter 15 that while you are the way you are, right, which is unclean, that I am to stay far away from you. And if I touch your filth will rub off on me. That's the misogyny I'm familiar with. But the misogyny these days tells me that I should desire to literally share in your bloody experience, and I should even want to be you so bad. I should want to be you so bad that I want your man to be my man. When did this become misogyny? Right? I need to understand something. So misogyny is to tell me that men and boys, that we can have babies too? Right, I'm asking because last time I talked to misogyny, it told me that a woman's place is...
There's only two places a woman belongs, that's what I'm saying. James, don't say it. The kitchen in the bedroom, Florence. The kitchen in the bedroom.
Barefoot and pregnant is for the females last time I talked to misogyny. So when was this that misogyny said that it agrees that females could do anything that males could do? Right, I'm asking because that's the movements that's been going on, right? Telling women you could have a beard on and a suit and tie on, and you could open a jar of pickles by yourself, and you don't need no man, and you could play football, and you could do all these other things. When did misogyny start agreeing that females could do male things?
This week, the whole world was stunned to learn the latest lefty lunacy from here in Australia, when at an entire school, all the boys were forced to apologise to the girls for being boys. The story went around the world, and Suzanne Della Basic, who was the journalist from the Herald Sun who broke the story, she joins us now. Suzanne, great to see you. How are you?
Good morning, Rowan. How are you?
Yeah, we're really good. This is a great yarn, so tell us about it. Why you wrote that the parents were furious. Tell us why.
Sure. So parents contacted me really furious about what had happened. They told me that their sons were forced to stand up in assembly and apologise for their gender. Obviously, in light of what's going on across schools at the moment with the whole issue of sexual harassment and consent. So there were a lot of disappointed parents because they said that the school didn't notify them beforehand about this assembly, and they said, why should their sons all be labelled the same? So that's where the outrage was sparked from.
Rita.
Oh, yes, well, collective guilt is never a good idea. Now, the principal here has come out and said that, yes, this was well-intentioned, but perhaps making the boys apologise for being born boys was a mistake. What are you hearing from the parents and the school community? Are they happy to move on, or is this a sign of the sort of indoctrination that we're seeing at schools? But what have the parents said to you?
Oh, the parents are very upset about what's happened. They're quite furious that the issue was obviously, in a school assembly, and that their sons were forced to apologise for things that they had never taken part in. The parents have said that they've got no issue with consent being taught in schools. They've just said that, it's not their sons and why should they apologise? So there's a lot of anger coming out of the school. A parent did actually contact me from the school yesterday just to sort of follow up, and they were very disappointed still that this had taken place, and they're worried that more assemblies and more sort of classes will take place like this without parents actually being notified.
Well, I'd be pulling the kids out of the school personally, but that would be my choice. James.
What were these both mothers and fathers who were complaining, and what were they saying that their sons were coming home and reporting about that, and how they felt about being singled out as being the member of the gender that is apparently responsible for all the problems in the world?
It was mothers and fathers that were complaining about it. So one boy came home and he said, "Mum, I'm not a rapist. Why have I been forced to apologise for this?" So,
and how old were these kids,
there
by
was
the
a
way?
lot of disappointment.
Misogyny wouldn't make boys apologize for rapes that they did not commit. right? Hey, if anything, misogyny would deny that a female even can be raped. Yeah, in extreme misogyny, that does exist. Certain places, it's okay to rape, not apologize. So, but misogyny these days is to say men can be women and women can be men and boys can be girls and girls can be boys. That's what they're calling misogyny. Well, I should have the right to compete against females in sports. No, that's not misogyny. That is not misogyny. Misogyny does not seek to infuse male and female. If anything, misogyny would say males on this side and females stay on that side, right? Right? Or like they used to do. Well, I don't know if they still do it. No, I don't think they do this no more. But in the Nation of Islam, they used to have it where it would be females on one side of the church while the males sat on the other side of the church.
There is no such thing as a heartbeat at 6 weeks. It is a manufactured sound designed to convince people that men have the right to take control of a woman's body away from her.
No heartbeat, she said. And everybody that'll hear this video knows that she done lost her mind. Right? But to get the people in the audience to forget that she's crazy, she pulls the misogyny card. It's these men trying to control females' bodies. It's misogyny. Then the audience and others who saw her say that, they'll forget that what she said about the no heartbeat was crazy.
At one point in the video,
she just suggests misogyny, then the audience's sense of common sense departs from there.
Maternal love is the love that's going to change the future of mankind. So we'd like you to look
we like to say people kind, not necessarily mankind, because it's more inclusive.
There we go, exactly. Yes, thank you.
We can all learn from each other.
Apparently, not only was Justin Trudeau making up people kind, he was also mansplaining at that point, because you can't win when you get into bed with social justice. It is no longer mankind, it is people kind, and it is no longer gingerbread man, it is gingerbread person. Because this is going to tackle sexism, at least according to the Scottish Parliament. Gingerbread men have been banned at the Scottish Parliament in a bid to reduce sexism. Really? How much sexism was reduced by using gingerbread person instead of gingerbread men? Just out of interest, do we have any kind of quantifiable metrics for the diversity officer to produce to us and say, yes, by changing gingerbread men to gingerbread persons, we've reduced the amount of sexism in the Scottish Parliament by 3.2% or something like that? I mean, what I'm saying is something quantifiable by which these people can be held to account. How can we ever say that, yes, they are doing a good or bad job if everything they do is fucking nebulous? The tasty treats have been replaced by gingerbread persons amid fears that the traditional name caused offence. With who? Who was being offended by the term gingerbread men? Who was offended by this? I want that person to stand up and be counted. I want them to say to the world, yes, it is I who is offended by the concept of a gingerbread man, because there is no gingerbread woman, and this kind of sexism and blatant gender discrimination has to stop. What?
Genderless gingerbread.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Yeah, that's going on. Put that into your YouTube search engine.
That nigga's tripping.
Genderless gingerbread. And see all the controversies that don't stir it up. Listen, misogyny would not seek for men and boys to be made genderless. Okay? It is misogyny insisting that there be tampons in the men's bathrooms and suing establishments who triggered my anxiety when I didn't see tampons for me in the men's room. Taking these businesses to court for having the nerve to dare to think that there was no need for them to have a supply of tampons for me in the men's restrooms.
Theo, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
But this is what people are calling misogyny, right? And yes, there are people demanding that tampons be placed into men's bathrooms, and they're suing people.
You remember that costly scene from the movie The Matrix, with individuals being nurtured and fed in those life-size pods? Something eerily similar to that is actually being imagined for the future. I'm Shivan Chandna, let's break it down for you. An artificial womb facility has been envisioned. It is a large laboratory with a large number of pods or artificial wombs inside which babies will be grown. The pods are designed to replicate the conditions inside a mother's uterus. It is aimed to help countries suffering from population decline. Infertile couples will be able to conceive and become parents of their own offspring with this facility. Any trait of the baby such as hair color, eye color, height, intelligence and skin tone can be genetically edited through a range of over 300 genes. Now, while a facility like this is still being imagined, do you think it will be ethical?
They don't see that as the replacing of human beings. No, it's misogyny trying to control females' reproductive rights. That's what I'm hearing. It's misogyny and toxic masculinity trying to get rid of females' wombs. Right, and I can't find it on here no more, but these mad scientists were trying, well, they likely are still trying to develop a way for a man to carry a baby to term in his back. Listen, that's not misogyny, right? What's going on is against humanity. It's against God, whatever creator God you may believe in. What's going on is to create enmity between male and female, to erase what we even know as male and female. It's against natural law, against nature's law, against the laws of physics. It's against everything. It's against humans. Humans.
This is just a reminder for men that scientists have now discovered a way for women to impregnate themselves using their own bone marrow. And the only child that can result from those pregnancies are female. So we no longer have any need for you genetically or physically. So, tread lightly.
The aim to render males useless. But they won't call that misogyny though. No, they ain't gonna do that, right? And who is they? Who are the they I've been talking about who are calling everything misogyny?
People like you are the reason.
Well, they are these crazy females who, for some strange reason, see themselves as feminists. But they're not feminists. They're just a bunch of angry, male-hating bitches. So ignorant and self-centered that the only attack that they can see are the ones on females. Right? Brainwashed into thinking that the world rotates around them. Right, but I said a long while back that one of the biggest dangers to human beings are our self-interest groups, where our group is the only group that matters. That's what we tell ourselves. Now, the examples I cited, all of it is linked together. Right, like the crazy lady in the beginning who saved her own waist. All of it is together. Right, like I forget his name, the director of whatever he is, I forget his name, the one who made the recent Avatar movie, he said that testosterone, right, because you got men helping with this too, it ain't just women, but he said that testosterone is a toxin that needs to be purged from society. Right, now how's that misogyny? Now, have I heard the fake feminists call that misogyny? No, but I brought it up to point out how self-centered they are. So self-centered that they will willfully ignore the fact that all are on the menu, including their foot soldiers that are on the front line, like the lady who put her menstrual in a cup and showed it to us.
Anything.
Her ass is grass too, because like I tell people all the time, a devil ain't got no friends or favorites.